And sometimes they drag their feet. Yes, he dragged it pretty good.
The little one?
The 3-year-old, yeah.
Oh, the middle one. Okay. Oh,
You got pretty fast splinter, so pretty fun. Sharing the screen. All right. So hopefully you guys had somewhat of a decent day. I would say we're still kind of in the range, right? I would say we're not rejecting the prices yet, right? We're still staying pretty bearish. Does everybody understand that? Is there anyone that doesn't follow that? Everybody got it on the call? All right. Good.
Yeah, we're still happy trading within this range, right? This like 4-day range.
Yep. So you have this, right? You had a distribution here, and you can break these down into more. Right? So you could say you're trading in this distribution here. This one is one of them, right? And then right below that, you had the double distribution that started, ended with a triple, I guess, distribution here with the single print on a weekly. And then you have this bottom distribution here. And if you remember, for instance, this week's value, talking about this week right here, the blue period right there, the value for this week was where? Right here, right? Correct? And then the prior week, let's see, you have, I'm sorry, the following week, you had value being built a little bit overlap, and let's just color that something orange. Right. So now tell me the story. Let's treat these as penthouses, right? Like we typically do. Let's call this as one on the top. And hopefully you guys can see the message I'm trying to get to you guys. So the penthouse in the blue, the second floor in orange, and then the green one here. So over the past 3 weeks, we explored obviously all of them. We went here, we dipped below this value, and what we didn't find here is what? We didn't find access. Right now we have the access, right? On the daily and the weekly here. It's sitting pretty nicely here. I would say this is a pretty good access. They fixed that poor low, if you guys remember, we talked about it. And now, what did they have to break in order for us to gain momentum on the bullish side? What's the level?
that 40?
To the upside. Like if you want to be more bullish, what is the level?
Have we crossed the single print?
Oh, 71 too.
Okay, from the value perspective, if this is my value area high of this second week in March, and then this is my value area low of what is this third week sitting right here, what would that tell you then about potentially filling up this core structure all the way until 32? What are the odds?
Pretty high.
I would say pretty high, right? So when you think about it, if we can just gain acceptance here, right, and you have a nice node here, if you can gain acceptance here, it's probably gonna go up here to the opposite extreme. I wouldn't be surprised if you reject here, and I wouldn't be shocked if this is the case, right, where you get inside the orange zone, right, the middle floor, you come here, you get a little rejection, get a go ahead, and then run it probably to about 33, and ultimately I would expect somewhere around this zone here, about 46 all the way to 51 to be the level that they could go. That's the bullish side because they need to gain acceptance in the orange zone. If they don't, like we haven't today, let's say tomorrow, if we can't crack this 87, 83 zone, what do you think where we go? Where do we go?
Back down to 620.
I would say there's a really, really chance here, probably 5606 or so, or the bottom of this if you want to. You could even, you could combine these profiles here, which you do, and you have the value area low. You could target 5617 easy, right? I would think that if they crack inside this, you see that we have a nice distribution. I'm going to hide the daily for a second. On current developing, right, on the weekly, what do you have? Tell me everything you see on the market profile.
Excess high, excess low.
Okay, so she's calling just for people on the call. I'm giving you a little bit of a tutorial. Access high means that we have some selling, right? We have found the sellers of the inventory that they have a little bit of the extra here. That's what this means, where you have these single prints, and I believe
Is that a B shape?
Well, this is definitely B shape. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can get the letter to drop it out.
It's not a spike.
I was hoping to see is a spike or not. Yeah. So we got access here. Now you close relatively bullish on the weekly so far. You guys agree? Anyone disagree? You closed right here, right? So you're on a double distribution day and you're closing kind of on the upper closer to the opposite, value area high, the top extreme. But now when you think about, this week here, this is a pretty big level, guys. If you look at this node right here, you see that they failed to find buyers here multiple times, right, before they had the short squeeze. You guys see that? Like something like this. I'm picking it up from this level, right? This is where they trapped a lot of shorts. They had a short squeeze that went up, and then of course you have the sell-off. So now it's really about those zones that I drew away. If we can kind of get above this, let's say 89.75 and break this value, whatever this happens to be now, this 85, that's a good sign that you're rejecting this value below and like this area now, and that you're looking to go higher, right? So if you merge these, what did you see here where we are kind of stuck?
We're fighting to break that value area high.
Yeah, take a look where you are. There's a combined view of all of it.
Or the POC.
Yep, you're right at the POC. So the odds, if you crack this, let's say tomorrow, you see this ledge that's pretty massive right here, whatever this level is. Let's say 77. From this standpoint, this thick size, right? 77. If you crack this tomorrow, let's say you go above it, the chances that you're at least gonna go to 708 are pretty high. Like I would anticipate that they're gonna visit this high volume node right here. And you potentially trim some or look for a rejection there and look for a long again. Ideally, you want to be above this node to be a long, or in between, you could scalp right between here and here. And then ultimately, they're going to go probably where? They crack this zone, they're probably headed.
725.
I would say this level here would be the correct one, right? You have the value area high, but then if they can get inside this LVN, you could most likely target, somewhere around here to be the next level, this HVN sitting here, 52 to 57. Does it make sense how we built the story, and does everybody understand it? We started from daily to weeklies, and I'm just telling you, key levels you're gonna have to gain acceptance in.
Yeah. Where's the origin of that FVP that you have with the blue, red, and yellow?
Oh, this is, I believe, yearly, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay attention much to that one. It does hit pretty nicely today, though, because of the value area high. But yeah, don't look at that one. Here's this one, right? So even if you look in the volume profile, the message is, I would say, pretty the same, right? So if you hide this for a moment, take a look at this. This one is even more, I would say, clear what they need to break, right? You crack this, you have the value area high, you have the POC, the value area low, and value area high. This is clear as day what you need to do if you want to be a bull, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So now when you hide this, oops, not that. Here's your combined view and volume profile, right? So we're slightly above the POC. Uh, if there's any news tomorrow, which I don't know if there are, the ADP employment.
No, main news at 4 p.m.
What's at 4 p.m.?
The tariff announcement.
Oh, it's at 3 o'clock. Oh, GMT. Oh, crap.
Yeah.
Well, man, it might be volatile towards the end of the day tomorrow. Oh, man, that could send some. That's going to bring a lot of IV tomorrow. It might be a good idea to sell some stuff on your long-term shares. At least I'll consider selling something like calls, maybe somewhere, or puts, depending on where we are in certain equities. It might not be a bad idea because IV is going to spike tomorrow. very
Are
common.
you saying the initial balance is gonna? Sorry, what was that?
The IV, the implied volatility.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would expect it to pump a little bit because market doesn't like uncertainty, right? Especially not with a person that changes their mind on tariffs every 14 minutes, right? Market doesn't like that. Market like, you know, they can predict the path, and I don't think we can do that right. So what is he announcing? More tariffs or something? I guess I don't know.
The Liberation Day, global tariff. Tariff on all countries.
Did you call it liberation? What the
Yeah.
hell? The cool name. Liberation. What are we being liberated? So this is going to be fairly important. They crack this, then they stay above the zone. What you don't want to see tomorrow is you do this and immediate rejection. It could go deeper, right? That could anticipate it to go probably somewhere as high as this area. If they go here, if they fail and they can't hold here, I would be okay shorting this. Grab this 3 days, find the first dig on it, and most likely it's gonna hit. It should be right there, 16, 20 to about 17 area. 17 to 20 would
Oh,
be a pretty good spot.
a Shorty, I forgot. Tomorrow before open, we have the Tesla delivery numbers. That may spoil the entire sentiment.
I hope so. I'm short Tesla still.
Me too.
Just based on technicals, yeah, but let's see. So is everybody on the same page on this? Does everybody understand what's going on? And then the last question I have, was there anything bearish in this day? For instance, this one. Anything that you noticed here that's bearish? And what is that for today?
That it closed like underneath the value high, so it didn't make a higher high for the day.
Okay, so you're saying close below value area high was bearish. Anyone else?
I
What
don't
about
see much
what about
bearish. It reclaimed everything.
what about the value area high placement when you're having a trend day up and you break previous
Oh,
day high? Where should you see the value area high? Where should it be?
At the top.
higher.
Yeah,
You
it should have
want.
got higher.
What about the day prior? You had a trend day, and where was the value area high?
At the top.
Where's at the top? Notice what they did today, and now tell me who got potentially is hurting tomorrow. Think about this. You have a massive trend day with the gap down, which was one of the setups, if you guys recall. We talked about go below, trap them, and then maybe rip from there. That was the idea, and they did a pretty good job, right? Just when the shorts got excited, they ran it, they got inside the value, and then they executed pretty much a quick 80%, because this value here is fairly narrow, right? So the odds were really, really high. But then notice what happened today. They ran above this, right? They cleaned up the PDH, and of course, they entered some fingerprints from Friday from the sell-off, right? And they're not able to clean up, I believe, all of them. And you can now switch, right? And be like, hey, did you clean up all the fingerprints? Well, the single prints, went all the way up here. Remember, this was our A period that was really lengthy, and the B period was, I believe, on the bottom. And you see the tiny overlap here, not much. So they did not fix all of this poor structure. So now if you go here, they have to go to 705 to hit the B bottom, and then above that, right, you have 712. So this zone might be, if they do some crazy stuff, I would watch for rejection above this level, lose it, and then go down and look for some opportunities. Kind of similar what happened today. I don't know if anyone took the short when I was short, but we were targeting somewhere around here. And then they got the massive sell-off here. Now think about what happened between the 2 days, right? So here we said you cleaned up the PDH, right? And then you went above the value area high, shifted, and you found access. That's bearish, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now tell me if it's still bearish. This is your value area high from the day prior. You tried to get inside the value, and what did the market say?
Rejected it.
So they're rejecting this value. They're rejecting this value so far. And they're also finding sellers right here. So now tell me, would you like to size up on any trades here tomorrow where you go break above and you go long?
No.
They're telling you something's cooking and something's cooking that's pretty good, right? You know, the value has shifted. They went inside of it. First of all, they went to this POC almost too good, right? I mean, they went to this POC right here, almost perfect.
Yeah, I was like right on the
And
money.
on the money, and they're telling you the fair price is not here. We believe it's higher. And then they cracked value area high. They dipped inside the value low here. Below it, that means the intraday seller. What type of day is this? Is this a confident day today?
No,
Why not?
there's no strong buying or selling.
Well, you do have buying. I mean, you did find access inside the previous value, right? Wouldn't this be some buying here?
Let it
Yeah.
pick a direction.
Well, they did reject the bottom, but they also rejected the top. When you have access on both sides, what does that mean?
When a volume profile, it looks like a double distro.
Yep, my volume profile is, right? So I'll put that on so you guys can see it here. So it's a
Yeah, it
double
looks like the past
distro.
3 days have double distributions.
That's correct. But what type of day is it when you have access on the top and on the bottom and you don't break neither one? You stay inside of it.
Neutral.
Like a
Neutral.
bracket.
A neutral day, right? And who's in control when you have a neutral day?
Short term.
Short term. Short term.
Okay. So we have a case to be bullish, right? You have a case to be bullish and you have a case to be bearish. So when you think about it, what should you lean towards? How should you take the day tomorrow?
Toward the tops, along the bottoms.
You're neutral, right? You're playing both sides until proven otherwise, and you'll lose money on one, and you can't be mad at that. You have the setup. You're playing by the bracket rules. You cannot get mad if you lose a trade because you're playing the same setup that you would any other day on the same visual that you have right now. So for tomorrow, they really have to crack this, right? You know, they can crack the PD value area high and stay above it, right? Out of the gate in the open. That's great, right? Most likely they're going to proceed higher, clean up these single prints, go 25. And I would say ultimately kind of maybe 51 to 57 area would be the next level. But if you see that we crack inside and we lose that, that's a pretty good short. And you have some levels to take in between, right? So you have some, you know, HPN here, they were pretty happy trading in this area. 2 days they traded here. Today, for some reason, they didn't like it, right? They said, "Ooh, fly through the zone." The fact that they flew through the zone where they found value before is somewhat like, okay, something changed. But now if you take a look, what days did we find? What happened anytime we were in this distribution for the 2 days? How did price work around this value? So I'm talking about here, right? How did the price behave here? So we built value and the price went,
Rejected.
okay. We built value and price,
Rejected.
okay. Now you think about this, we flew through that zone today. It was almost like if there was never a seller stuck here. We absorbed that seller, then, you know, I guess the sellers on the top here, they came in, they sold it back down below this node, only to find out that there was enough demand to push it back above. So is that bullish or bearish?
That's bullish.
Undecided.
That's very bullish because you're absorbing these sellers. So now if you're thinking about, you know, hey, where would if I go long, where would you hide? Well, you have to hide somewhere below these guys that they absorb, right? You have to look at these two profiles and find like an LVN right below it if you want to go long. So let them get inside. look for a long high behind it, or especially if you're an extreme, then you have some levels to play, right? PDL of Friday, you have some absorption here and then a pop. So you will have more levels to hide at the extremes than you really would have here. Your risk and reward are very limited if you're trading off the middle on the brackets. You want to be trading the extremes. Peak above, fail, short, look for POC somewhere, wherever that 3-day POC is. So you have a HVN here. So I probably wouldn't go long. They do this, I wouldn't go long here. Where should you go long?
Above the POC.
You most likely want to forget yourself and be a little late and trade this above this. That gives you a much better chance that you're going to reach the opposite extreme. I wouldn't initiate the long right below the fair price and the price is below it. Just me, my rule. You can certainly take it below and hope that you get over it, but that's not how I would trade it.
And you do that when they're just really close to each other, right?
What do you mean? Yeah,
Like
yeah,
when-
yeah. POC and of extremes, yes. Yeah,
Got it.
correct. Top or bottom. Okay, does that make sense? And I would be very careful if you're trading options tomorrow. I would not trade options tomorrow, especially not 0DT. You could trade them from 3:30 to 4. I promise you might regret it the remainder of the day or the beginning of the day. Most likely they're going to have IV and Theta's is going to, basically they're going to collect the premium by selling high IV. And then once the tariffs come out, what happens to IV?
Shoots up.
Or
Collapses, goes down.
Rush.
usually when the news are absorbed, IV is just going to collapse. Oof, boop, drop it, and option makers control the pricing by controlling IV. Because that's the only aspect they can control. It's much easier for them to sell you calls and puts right now at super high IV, drop the IV by 40-50% on options, and you're going to lose either way. And they're going to pocket same way.
Tomorrow is a good day to play options on ES after 4 p.m.
On ES, yes, after hours, but not like SPX, the SPY. I would not play with that.
Yeah, not at all. Tomorrow, you need that because you need the exit window if you're on the wrong side after 4.
Exactly. Yeah. So please, it's your money. You do whatever you want, but I would just say be cautious tomorrow trading any options.
But 1-day DT or 2-day DT should be fine, right?
I would check to see what the IV says. I can check here shortly and see. Let me see, what is it now? I'll log in real quick.
Today again, since yesterday 2 p.m., IV is very stable. Nobody is selling it because of the Wednesday tariff announcement.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So they're hedging.
Nobody is selling IV.
Just looking at option chain. So what's tomorrow? The 2nd.
The tariffs are at 3 o'clock. Reciprocal tariff plan announced.
Just looking.
I think they moved it to 4.
Did they? I'm looking at the trading view.
He can
whatever.
talk from 2 to 4.
Yeah.
Current call IV percentile is 51%. That's pretty.
Yeah, look at the IV of Friday, and that's very high.
Well, there's a big trader today on SPX at 341. Holy moly. My God. He either is a trillionaire or something doesn't add up. You guys see
Maybe
this?
that
Was he a buyer or a seller?
To me, it looks like
That's
to me, this looks like a sell on 6600 C. 56.75 puts. There's collecting premium. It's a spread.
It's a spread. This guy sold the call to fund the put.
Yep. Yeah, that's a pretty massive trade.
Has
Oh,
to
I
be a
see.
hedge fund.
Yeah, I see the whole spread now. Let me show you.
See, Shorty, the market actually in the May series have hedged, everything. The put call ratio is 3:1 in May. 16 May expiry.
This is pretty big, boys, today on SPX. And wow, today there was 2 million puts traded on SPX versus 1.7 million on call side. And majority, 61% of the puts were in the money.
They were
Shorty, just look at the May series. The May monthly, you'll go mad. The amount of put that is sitting there right now. Not much put in the April expiry. It's mostly in the May.
Okay.
Fuck yeah, I know what he's saying.
It's like 3:1 is a very high ratio, very high.
No,
I think it's
I
the, it's
wonder
the
if they
results
killed
is
those
in.
guys. I wonder if they killed those puts first before they moved. I would stay off the puts tomorrow unless you're playing, I would say maybe 3:30 to 4. But your guys' call, I think they're gonna burn a little bit. Looking here, so we're trying to hold basically the weekly bottom here on the clouds on ES. Just switch it to monthly, see where we stand. Guys,
Okay.
there's really bad news on the monthly. Oh man, this could get nasty. Watch this. You guys see what I see on the monthlies? Does anyone see it who understands clouds? If you don't, you will. You guys see it? Anyone? Yeah, let me give you guys a better view.
What clouds are closed?
Yeah, clouds are closed, and what else do you guys? I mean, this is a monthly cloud, guys. This is pretty big. What's the setup that's being set up here? Is it bullish?
It's going for monthly meet.
Anyone
Looks
else?
more
Bottom.
bearish than bullish.
Here, let me give you guys a much better view here. Okay. So we spent time about the cloud, right? And the cloud just became negative, and this cloud is fucking closed. When I say closed, this one's closed. Take a look, for instance, right here at the MACD. Look at this. That's -12. But this cloud is not going to open anytime soon. So what you could expect to see, and this is called the bearish money shot, and this is very powerful. If they do this tomorrow, I will load up on SPY and SPX puts for a couple of weeks out, 4 weeks out. There's a high chance 48.73 is in play within a very short period of time. The middle target would be here, right at the POC, which should be 53.54. That level ring a bell at all? Anyone?
Sure, isn't that like 125 points above where we're at?
Which one?
What you just showed us, that cloud, it's like 125, 150 points away.
I'm not sure what you're talking about. Like where the price is right now, where the cloud is?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's 125 points? Just a pair of 3.
Okay.
For this market, it is a one-day move.
It's definitely a one-day move now. But, when you look at the clouds here, they're heavily closed, guys. This is turning out to be a potential really good bearish play here.
See, what is that level? 58.50, right?
58.50, yeah. I mean, if you're playing SPY, a couple of weeks out, you would be okay on it.
Though it's very difficult until and unless there is surprisingly positive news on the tariff tomorrow.
That would be wild. Pretty good.
Yeah, because
Okay.
job report really cannot, push it that far.
I just don't see much, honestly, till like that monthly mid. There's nothing stopping this to go to 4,800, guys. Like there's literally nothing. Like we would collapse quickly here. If we come here, that'll be probably a good short. What is that? That's about 8%, 477 points.
What
Yeah,
would
it
that
will
be
be a
for
straight
SPY?
1,000 point.
What's the relation on SPY in that one, Shorty?
Let me see.
Like the top number and the bottom number. The
So
equivalent.
SPY is 485. And guess what? Look at SPY.
Yeah. I mean, I figured it'd be the same. That's why I was just trying to see.
Well,
Okay, so 577 is what it's saying is the top of the bottom of the cloud down to 531.
485. Well, 531 is monthly mid.
Mid, yeah.
That would be our first target. Like somewhere around here. This will be our second.
531.
If we hit that kind of back door, how much would you give it? 2 weeks?
No,
Or
6 to 8 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
What is the probability of it is straight going down from here without even touching there?
Let's see. We are on, what is this? Monthly. So what is the average? The average finish between the two, between the top and the bottom, is 108 days. Change it. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
So between the top and the bottom, and you see how it's marking. So it takes the average for how long it's taken before, and it takes about 108 days to get there. So if you think about it, we are here, which was 1010. Where was this? This looks like 2023. And you're going all the way to 1225 of next year, right? So it's sometimes longer, but you can see when you're falling down quicker, right? And here's your COVID lows, I believe, right? This is your COVID lows. And you see the cycle is increasing, right? So this one was 12 days.
Yeah, what was that
Now,
cycle time from that number 5 close to the full send to the red square?
11
Yeah,
days.
that line. That was 11 days?
11 weeks, I'm sorry. That was
11 weeks. Okay.
This one's been very long, I would say. From here, October to here has been a grind. This is setting up for a really nice puts, guys. I'll probably play something in April. So June monthlies are going to be the 20th. Said that this could go to 530 first, and then somewhere around 485, so maybe 500.
What is the probability we straight go down? We just don't retest 576 anymore. We already did it twice.
There's a high chance, but I would anticipate them to touch this.
Once more.
Yeah, it needs to go to the cloud that's closed. They didn't tap it yet, but the cloud closed. They didn't come there yet, right? They need to go to 577.46 tomorrow, which is doable with some crazy news. I've seen a bounce $12 on the spot, right? So it's not bad. 500 puts for June are pretty juicy, actually, $444. Pretty expensive for June. So 16th May.
We need IV to collapse, right? When it will be in 576, 580, you know, VIX will be like 18 and then 200 points down. I'll be buying 550 puts actually.
It'll be better, right? But IV's jacked right now.
Yeah.
You're gonna be paying
Yeah.
premium. The expected move, I guess. What is this for tomorrow? Is gonna be about $7 on SPY. That's the expected move tomorrow.
Look at it, including Friday. I think that is 130 points move. 13 points move in SPY.
What's Friday? What date's then? Friday.
Is 4th. Friday is
Fourth.
4th. The job report. Yeah.
4th. Yeah, I mean, you have some points there. On SPX, it's gonna be close to 200 points between now and Friday.
That's the
And
job report.
yeah, but SPY is 21, 20, about 30 points on SPY. So doable. There's a lot of things doable. And we got a little full send, bearish full send here.
Oh, where's the full send?
On 15 minutes. Hasn't played yet.
Oh, I see.
And we're below the trend bar. This is, to me, setting up from this standpoint, it's setting up for a really bearish setup.
What's the trend line at? Should at
Trend
least
bar?
touch yeah,
Trend bar is sitting right now
69. Yeah.
somewhere around there. And get my chart. My colors on charts are so identical that. Yeah, 570, 569, 59. I'd really appreciate if they go at 577 and tap that cloud. That would be a gift. All right, guys. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I would say please stay away from options. Might be painful at first.
Thanks, Shorty.
Good night. Bye bye.
Thank you.